This is a straight mob call right here. A Mexican Mafia conspiracy to control a specific gang territory. Speaking with a woman who has a great degree of authority. And believe it or not, women held sway in the organization. They're very powerful. In some cases, more juice than Mexican Mafia members. Hey folks, my name's Rene Enriquez and you are watching Uncensored. Welcome back to another episode of Wiretap Weekends. We got a doozy for you today. This is a humdinger, folks. So, Mosca was tied up in Operation Black Flower. This was a 4-year investigation with the El Monte Police Department and the DEA, and I did the communication analysis for 4 years. In fact, there were 41 defendants in this case. Operation Black Flower revolved around the El Monte Flores gang. And there were thousands of wiretaps. In fact, this is a wiretap call in which Mona calls Mosca Rodriguez. We don't have a picture of Mona. And the call is pretty complex, right? It involves a lot of people. There's a lot of name dropping. And that's the wealth of information in these calls. Every wiretap call, well, the majority of them, have a wealth of information. It's not just the call itself, which is actually an overt act. The overt act in furtherance of a conspiracy. Remember that, folks, because this is a RICO case. This racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. When the feds come in, they're going to hit you with a RICO or BICAR. And this is what this is. This is a RICO conspiracy, a Mexican Mafia conspiracy to control a specific gang territory. And within that conspiracy lie multiple crimes. And each one is charged in the indictment. So an overt act is when a person participates in an act in furtherance of the conspiracy. And you're going to hear that go down here.
Hello.
Hello, Mosca.
Yeah.
This is Mona. Mona.
Mona, hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. And yourself?
All right, just here.
Oh, okay. So you already know they call me Mona now?
You know, it's a new one to me.
Huh?
But it was new to me, but I figured I just put two and two together. I have to. It's not good. Yeah. Hey, I thought he was in Pharma.
So let me pause here. Mosca Rodriguez is a representative for Raymond Shryack, and he has ties to multiple brothers on the streets. He's like a main secretary for the Mexican Mafia, and everybody calls him. This is a clearinghouse. Mosca is a clearinghouse for Mexican Mafia communication. Like, he's the hub of a lot of activity. A lot of Mexican Mafia members go to him. He clears the air. He does deconfliction. He does it all. He's a man that wears many hats, representing Raymond Shryack. So now you have a little background and you know what Mosca's role is. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the new narration and the interjection and inclusion of graphics and photos of these individuals.
Who? That guy?
Laco.
Oh, Laco? No, Laco is in Red Rock.
Red Rock. Okay,
yeah,
so it was
yeah.
the other way around. Yeah, because I was kind of wondering, because that dude that does for that guy over there, right? The one that's not supposed to be doing anything, the Big L guy.
Oh, it's the
Lou.
Pancho?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Lou?
Yeah, I thought he was in Bedrock.
No. He wasn't.
No, it was the other way around. Yeah. Okay, because he's saying that this other guy, because they do for Pops, right? For Pops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I told him, I told him, because he had the names mixed up. I said, tell him to go talk to that person over there, because this is what it is, and he knows the set down on it. That's, you mean? Okay,
yeah.
Take it. Okay, so so that's what that is, but like, however they feel over there, because there's already somebody doing for him over there already. You mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Let me pause it right here. When he's talking about Pops and doing stuff for him, and there's already somebody there, that means that Pops is obviously a Mexican Mafia member. It could be a number of different Mexican Mafia members that he's speaking of, so I don't want to speculate. I have a suspicion it may be George Bustamante Jr., but I'm uncertain. So we're going to leave that up in the air. Leave it to your imagination, folks. But that's what he's talking about. Individuals who hold seats on mesas. And if you don't understand what a mesa is, it's an ad hoc commission comprised of sureños, which are Mexican Mafia associates. And they represent specific Mexican Mafia members collecting illicit money that's generated on those prisons. And they also represent mafia business in terms of eliminating people and others. All this is nefarious. You can tell by the undertone of this. That guy over there and this guy here, no, the last guy we talked about, they don't want to say names. Most of it's kind of discreet. What Mona doesn't understand is that there's wiretaps up on a lot of individuals that revolve around this case, Operation Black Flower. And there is a wealth of information in this call. Let's pour through it and see what else we find.
So it's like it's their house, however they feel, you mean?
Yeah.
There's somebody already doing it for Pops and his son, you mean?
Pops and his son are George Bustamante Sr. and George Bustamante Jr. So, understand that the image we're depicting is George Bustamante Jr. He's a made Mexican Mafia member. The father, George Bustamante Sr., is not a Mexican Mafia member, but he's been given the latitude to represent certain locations and prisons for his son. And there's a lot of confusion with this. In fact, there was a lot of controversy over these two individuals, which we covered in a past episode, and that's who they're talking about specifically.
Yeah, where
in Bedrock.
In Red Rock.
Yeah, Red Rock, yeah. I think about Huh?
So, Red Rock is a correctional facility, a privately run prison that contracted out to California. There was a number, Oklahoma, Arizona, a couple other prisons that contracted out to the California Department of Corrections. And they took inmates from California and transferred them there. There was an interstate compact where inmates were being shipped out of the state, thousands of inmates, during a time of overcrowding in the California Department of Corrections. And while there, when they transferred the inmates, they transferred Mexican Mafia ideology and infrastructure. That's what they didn't understand. That when they did this, the Mexican Mafia got a foothold in Arizona and these other states where they had privately run prisons that were just contracted with California. Staff knew nothing about Mexican Mafia. They knew nothing about Sureño mentality. They knew nothing about the prison subculture as it existed at the time and continues to exist. So this was really a cluster F for the states that received these inmates because they ran free. A lot of these places were off the hook, believe me.
Isn't that the place where you fixed it for tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Rock, right?
Yeah.
So Pops and Little G is in Palma.
No. They're right there with your guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
he's holding a CIA for him, yeah?
Okay, cool.
When he talks about holding a CIA, that means that he's holding a seat on the mesa, that he represents T, who could be a number of people. So I won't speculate. It doesn't clarify in the call, so I'm not going to speculate. But he's holding a CIA. That means seat in Spanish, right? He's holding a seat on the mesa, which is an ad hoc committee of non-Mexican Mafia members to represent Mexican Mafia members. In other words, they're appointees by Mexican Mafia members to represent their business at that specific location, which is a prison. To represent their business at that specific location, which is a prison.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
but I think that you guys, I think you haven't fixed Palma.
Palma, no, that's that other fool that was trying to go. Remember the one that's not supposed to be doing?
Yeah, so yeah, that we were wondering.
Huh?
We were wondering who's gonna take that over.
Okay, see, that's what it was. See, the work came to me, right, to let them people know that they could do it the easy way or the hard way, and then people are not supposed to be doing anything for that guy over there. You mean? I said, well,
okay.
all I can do is just say it, but the thing is, I cannot enforce it because if he is or if he isn't, that's among his relatives to say that. You mean?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so that's how that goes. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean, like I say, you know as well as I do, the truth all comes out at the end, but like they were saying that was supposed to be all right there, both sides, was to our understanding was supposed to be. You mean? For your guy, you mean?
Yeah.
And whoever if they got room for a seat on the mesa, it was cool if he agreed on it, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but we haven't fixed that, so no, we haven't enforced it either, so we left it alone for a while. We're going to leave it alone for a while, yeah, but a lot of people are saying that Big Lou is not active.
Let me pause this right here. So you have a heavyweight Mexican Mafia secretary, which is Mosca, speaking with a woman who has a great degree of authority You could hear it in her voice. You could hear it in her swag. She's saying, I haven't forced that. I haven't fixed that. She has some power in the organization. And believe it or not, women held sway in the organization. They're very powerful. There's a group of women who are relatives of Mexican Mafia members and wives of Mexican Mafia members. They call the Senoras. And they have, in some cases, more juice than Mexican Mafia members. This was in the past. Currently, there's been a push to remove women from the everyday operations of the organization, particularly because Mexican Mafia members have been released to the general population now and have cell phones and instantaneous communication and can do this themselves. But this was at a time when cell phones weren't so prolific in the CDCR, and Mexican Mafia members had not all been organized on the general population. So this is a time when women were involved in the day-to-day operations of the organization, as Mona is describing, and you can hear in her voice.
They're saying that, but the thing is, when people are enforcing what is said among his relatives, among the relatives of your man, okay.
When he talks about relatives of your old man, he's talking about Mexican Mafia members. When he talks about relatives of your old man, he's talking about Mexican Mafia members. The relatives of your old man, or of your man. That is speaking directly to Mexican Mafia members. That's saying, look, if the Mexican Mafia members enforce this or choose to enforce it, that's their business, not mine. He's not an authority to say.
When they enforce that, they're giving it that power for him to step in and do what he's doing, because there's a lot of people that follow behind him instead of going by, disregard all that because the guy's been away so long.
Yeah. So we left it alone.
Yeah. That's what I said. It is what it is, and let his relatives deal with it.
Yeah. So, over here it's all good over here in Red Rock already. So we left that thing alone on that thing.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. But like I said, if that other guy, if they want to deal with him, because they are, out here under theirs, they do for two people. You mean the one over there?
Yeah.
You mean? And the other one over here, right? But one's in Colorado and the other one's out here, right? That those people's covered for. You mean?
Yeah.
So, like I told him, if whatever your boy over there decides, like I told him, that's his house. Whatever he decides on, what he feels, that's a call it. You mean? That's what it is. You mean?
Yeah. So, because he told me, this guy spoke to Dreamer, told me to call a fly.
So the individual they speak of right now, Dreamer, is Dreamer Rodriguez from MS-13. Dreamer Rodriguez was a flash in the pan. This is one of the individuals that was sponsored by Jimmy Rube Soto, and was denied. He was actually shelved. They told him he wasn't a carnal after he was made and functioning on the streets as a carnal. But once the carnales up at the Bay and the rest of the brothers heard about this, they said no.
Yeah.
Why? I'm like, isn't it Mosca? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know Mosca.
They are speaking of, I believe right now, Mike Torres.
But when he said fly, I'm like, fly? Isn't he that Mosca? They're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know him by Mosca. Yeah, he knows me. He knows me by Juana. Oh, yeah, he said Juana.
Yeah.
So let's not get it confused, right? They're talking about Mosca, the individual on the phone, the male on the phone. They're not talking about Mike Torres, who was recently eliminated in California Department of Corrections by fellow Mexican Mafia members.
Yeah, so we just wanted to make sure about this guy that's working there for Little G. Yeah, we were just asking if he was legit or not. So he is. So
yeah.
So she said working for Little G. That's Little George Bustamante, the individual depicted here. And the more I listen to this call, because this is the third time I've listened to it this morning, she is a Senora. Juana, or Mona, as she's calling herself on the phone, is a Senora. But for the life of me, I can't discern who she's married to or who she's hooked up with. But she is a Senora. She has the authority in her voice, the way she's talking about it, the way he's referring to her man, and that's his place. They're talking about a specific region, location that Mexican Mafia member controls. So if you listen to the undertone of the call, if you really listen to it, and the inflection in their voices, these are people of high authority. One a senora, one a crew chief or a secretary, and they're discussing straight mafia business. This is a straight mob call right here.
Yeah. They are legit. You mean, but like I told homeboy, whatever that man feels over there, you mean your boy that feels over there, the 34. You mean? That's his call. What it is. You mean?
Yeah. He just wanted to make sure that he's working with the people and not just throwing names out there.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I know that guy that's over there with him personally. También. You mean? Yeah. So you mean?
Okay. Well, have a good day, Mosca. Thank you.
Okay, you too, and have a good holiday. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, send your man mine and the best of respetos too, huh?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
You got a call between a senora and a secretary who's Mosca, and Mona, who's the mystery woman, or Juana, the mystery woman. I hope you enjoyed this for a Saturday. We want to do it a little bit different now. I wanted to kind of narrate the call so you get a better understanding of the subject matter. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Hit that hype if you got any left. I know it's the weekend and you only get 3 a week. It's a great way to support the channel. Have a great day, folks. Stay safe. I'm out. Peace.